So we have been not only understanding karma, law of karma, and karma yoga. So once we understand the karma and the karma yoga, we can transcend the law of karma from our life. The path is simple. Self discovery is beyond the law of karma, beyond the cause and effect. It is the knowledge of subjective reality. We want to know who am I, real self, which is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. So that is our path. Our masters laid out the path clearly. Self discovery, that is the goal of the Eastern wisdom. And we have to listen and learn from the teacher, followed by contemplation and reflection, followed by the practice. So once we start doing the practice, we start experiencing the change. If you are doing the practice mechanically, no change. So we are very clear about it. Mechanically means I'm doing karma. I'm not doing karma yoga. So the first result comes that your mind becomes very light, easy, relaxed. It is not running anywhere. Initially, before doing before following this path, we were fully busy. But now no busyness is there. Everything is very well organized. So the result that we start getting by the journey of the Eastern wisdom is uh, first is a sense of detachment comes. Whether you say detachment, indifference, dispassion, but that state of dispassion in the mind is a full of joy. So that dispassion starts removing our delusion, wrong notion. And removing the wrong notion leads to steadiness of the mind. Steadiness of the mind gets absorbed completely, or you can see the mind merges into the real self. So once the journey is clear, we also find some changes in our behavior and attitude. Huh? That is very well spoken by one master, Vidya Dadati Vinayam. The knowledge gives a sense of receptivity, a kind of humility. Humility in our relationship, in our thought, in our speech, in our action. So that humility strengthens your inner qualification, a sense of calm. I believe that everything is becoming very calm, or I'm just speaking. So, so that inner qualifications and the inner qualifications clearly indicates the path. You have a moment of insight, you have a moment of intuition. Previously, you were arguing with your honey, but oh, a sense of insight comes. There is no need. No need. Calm down. Calm down. So normally people consider it's a kind of an inner voice or a lot of stuff. But that comes because of the purity of the mind. And that helps us to continue the journey for awakening and realization. We have been talking and understanding about the karma. We cannot escape karma. Every day in the morning, thought, speech, and action is all about karma. So when we are doing only karma, means thought, speech, and action, then we are caught in the web of a pain and pleasure. Pay attention. We are not doing karma yoga. We are doing only karma. So every day, with every thought and speech and action, we are caught in the web of the karma, the cause and effect relationship. But the moment you have started karma yoga, you are ready to transcend the laws of karma. We do not have a luxury to escape any karma. We have to think, we have to speak, we have to act. So we have already understood. So what happens? It helps us to refine and shine your personal, your professional, your social, your family life. It changes. But if it is not changing, then your inner personality, intellectual understanding is not being realized in day to day life. So that you have to check and you have to recheck. Don't disturb me, I'm meditating. It is not karma yoga. Maybe at your home. So from where this thought has come, don't disturb me. That thought has come from the karma. You don't want to change. You want to change others. You want to brag that I'm meditating. So when I'm meditating, nobody is allowed to disturb. You will never get out of those disturbances in your life. It is all karma. Just think, contemplate. And that is why, for a couple of weeks, I have been asking how many times you were upset, anxious since the last session. So that indicates that, oh, my mind moved to the karma. I did not apply the principles of the karma. It will happen. It is natural. The moment we commit mistake, correct it. Why we don't correct it? We have a big ego. Moving from carefully busy to carefree, we always be comfortable, working. You are working tirelessly. You continue working in your profession. Who says don't work? But internally, you have applied the karma yoga. Wrong notions about people near you are gone. You build a relationship that is long lasting. We may get upset. It's natural for the mind, but the moment we get upset, we go back, we apply the karma yoga, the upset is gone. And so what happens? We start living in a higher level of awareness about ourselves, about in the world outside, in our relationship. We pick up the thread of pain and pleasure, duality, and a conflict, and we get rid of it instantly. So we don't allow to accumulate those impressions. Very important part of the karma yoga. So you are ever ready to correct your mistakes. Another changes that comes by the practice of karma yoga, that sense of laziness and the craziness dissolves. People near you notices the change. Now don't start asking, don't you feel the change in me? Wait, let the other people say, yes, you are changing. Don't you see I've been doing meditation for the last 2 to 3 years and you don't see the change? Oh, it means you are crazy. No, you are. You are crazy. That works in professional life. That works in the life of karma. That does not work in the life of karma. You have to keep on doing. Let the people notice the change. let the people express it, and take it in a natural way. Another part that I wanted to talk about it, in karma, the mind works like a pendulum. Pain, I want to escape the pain, I move to the pleasure. From the pleasure, again, after some time, it goes to pain, sorrow, happiness. Huh? We we get upset, we say sorry, we get upset again. We say sorry, and this journey continues. This is what is known as the cycle of birth and the death. This is known as the sansara by according to the Buddha. That we keep on repeating the same thing again and again without any noticeable change in our behavior and attitude. So, mind works like a pendulum in karma, but the mind becomes steady in the middle when we follow the path of karma. Lot of changes comes in our behavior, in our attitude, in our response to the people. I'm not saying, we commit mistakes. Let it be done, but you become aware, you bring about a change, and you see, because you are bypassing the law of karma, so it is in the mind that the peace and the love and the care that works behind every thought, speech, and action. And that makes us a great seeker. And a seeker never fails in the journey. So now, again, to bring it back, the same discussion, why even after intellectual understanding about our real self, we do not reach to that state of awakening and realization. It has three main challenges. The first challenge is the impurity of the mind. Mind is impulsive, habitual, created millions of the thought pattern and impression. It continues the circle and that. So, how to remove that impurity? By karma yoga. You may understand everything you study, you read every text of this Eastern wisdom, but if you do not apply the karma yoga in your life, the impurities of the mind will never be removed. Because when I am thinking, the way I think, the way I speak, the way I act, mind starts realizing that noise. I have already discussed a lot. So this is one challenge is that is the reason we do not reach to the or simple way, the pendulum working of the mind. Second problem is the distractions. So don't take uh, the definition of the word from modern psychology. That distraction is known as a projection. We keep on projecting. The mind projects. You have already projected me as a teacher. See that? We projected people as a husband, wife, friend, enemy. Huh? That projection do not allow the mind to be aware of that real self. What should be done? So we are starting a new topic, upasana. Those projections and distractions can be removed by the principle and practice of upasana. We will understand. So now see the entire clarity. So we are living in ignorance. The mind has three big challenges. One is the impurity. So once we understand, we can bypass the law of karma. By practicing karma yoga, at the same time, we will purify our mind. So we can find out lot of changes that is taking place in our daily life. You never get upset. You refuse to be miserable. I would say that is the result of karma. Who doesn't have a problem in life? Who doesn't have a challenges in the life? Quantity, quality, intensity of the challenges may vary. So you see that those karma yoga, you remain calm and relaxed, dispassionate. But the second problem, the projections cannot go away so easily. And that projection causes lot of limitations in our mind. The limitations causes the mind to return to work like a pendulum. Did you see that understanding? Because of those projections, the mind returns to act like a pendulum. We lose karma yoga, we start engaging ourselves into the karma. So once these projections can be totally destroyed from the mind, how it can be done? By upasana. So once these two are done for the mind, then what happens? You simply listen and learn from a teacher. Your mind has no projection, it has no impurity. The mind absorbs the knowledge and you find the real self. So that is the three challenges. Three challenges. So now coming to what is upasana, an introduction to the upasana. The word, Sanskrit word, upasana. The word Sanskrit word means sitting nearby home, sitting nearby either the teacher or the real self. But I don't know the real self. But sitting near the teacher means, is the teacher at the physical level? No, at the mental and the emotional level. I will take up you slowly one by. There is another way to understand this upasana. Any object, any image, any mantra that is written in the text of Eastern wisdom can help us to remove these projections of the mind. So, what is going to happen? The mind, when we practice upasana, there is a sense of emotional freedom. Every day you wake up. You wake up with an awareness of the infinite consciousness inside, as if you are not limited by the body, the mind, and the thoughts. You realize this mind is not swinging like a pendulum, and this mind acts like a mirror. Mirror perceives the image of the real self. You have a glimpse of it, and instantly your dispassion helps you to recognize the image is perceived in the mirror is unreal. Here I am the real self. So once that projection is gone, and that has a big problem. Anytime we wake up in the morning, we are talking about the money, the mind projects. I have $1 million, I'll be happy. It has already projected. Look at this beautiful girl. Projection is done. Do you realize the challenges of the projection? The moment you wake up in the morning, there are millions of projections that continues working at the subconscious level. Now, one important thing. Take an example. When we get attached by love at first sight, what happens? What happens? Mind keeps on repeating, oh, he or she is my soulmate. You see that? You are attracted by the first sight. We say that. What is that? You love at first sight. Yeah. Love at first sight. Basically, it is attachment. But pay attention what happens. So, attachment at a first sight. And then what happens? Mind keeps on repeating about that person, my soulmate. I love you. The person is not in front of me, but mind is repeating. Have you ever experienced that? I have experienced, I must admit. Anesthesia. So mind keeps on repeating, my soulmate, I love you. Image appears in the mind again and again. Image of that person with whom we say love at first sight appears again and again. Is it attachment? Yes. Intense attachment is what is we know, we call it as we fell in love. Falling in love. That is what happens in dating, soulmate, intense attachment, fall in love. We are talking about upasana. I'm just giving you one example, and then we will go a little deeper. So what happens in the I call it attachment at first sight. You may call it love at first sight for the sake of understanding. In that process, first what happens? We don't know from where the idea or a feeling of attraction comes to the mind. Clear? We don't know. We don't. So that is attachment. Then after that, we start thinking about that person. So thinking is taking place in the mind. So it is being repeated. So by a lot of thinking, the mind at the habitual and impulsive level, it starts saying soulmate. So even if that person is not in front of you, but your mind imagines. Yeah. Did it happen to you ever? No, don't tell me before you dad. You so. No, I can ask the dad. Did it happen to you? So yeah, it happens to almost everyone. So you see that image, thinking, and a sense of attachment. Again, we will understand it step by step. It's such a wonderful concept and a principle that we use this attachment, all the factors, what the mind does in falling in love, we do the same thing to rise in love. That is upasana. It happened almost when I was 20, 21 years old. But after few years when I went to my master, then I had the same upasana with my master. So now see, understand. Are you understanding the three factors in this so-called fall in love? One is the object of attachment, whether it's a car or a person or a clothes, anything. Object of attachment. We call it as a soulmate. Few seconds before, nothing was there. And suddenly, soulmate. Few seconds before. Person was not a soulmate, but now soulmate. So first is the object of attachment. Well, object may be a car or a person. Second factor is the thought associated with the feeling. Who will love this beard guy? So you don't have any kind of attachment to this beard guy. He has already become old. So thought and the feeling associated with that object, right? That is the second factor, and it's a repetition. Tell me, what is the location of that attachment is happening? Just check. The location we find inside the heart. Somewhere we find. What are the three factors? Keep on it, just be very clear about it. First is object. When we say object means anything that is different and separate from me, whether it's a person or a car or a cloth or a computer, we can be attached to anything. We like it. So that attachment comes because of the sudden spur of an attraction in the mind. We don't know from where the attraction has come. Second is that moment the attraction takes place, we start thinking about it. Mind keeps on thinking about it. And when you think, it gets associated with the feeling about that object and you constantly repeat it. So because that person and object is not present in front of you, so in the attachment, in falling in love, we find, we say, you are very near to me. You are very close to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? You might have said to a lot of people, you're very close to me. Why you are exposing us? No, I'm not exposing. We are trying to understand the principle of upasana. Location. Location. What is the location of your soulmate? You can ask anyone who has fallen in love. They say, my heart. He or she is very near to my heart. Really? Near to your heart that pumps the blood? What he has or she has to do with watching pumping of the blood, that we do not understand. Be 100% clear. We are removing that projection. You see, by understanding this. So now see, think of this. Remember the three factors, I'm repeating it again. Object, and the thoughts associated with the feeling, and the location. If one is soulmate, you don't say he or she is very near to my knees. The mind goes to the heart only. But what is that heart? That heart is nothing but the mind. And what happens in the projection, that now you see that he or she is very near to my heart, but he or she is resting, if in one-sided love, so-called one-sided attachment. He or she is enjoying. There are a lot of factors. So I'm just giving you, you have to think of these three factors: the object of attachment, thoughts, feeling associated. So those thoughts and the feeling creates an image about that person into your heart. That is why he or she is very near to your heart. Did you get it? That is known as emotional dependence. And the emotional dependence causes the delusion, and that destroys our life. No, keep on loving someone, falling in love. I have no problem, but I'm just explaining. Did you understand? Now we went into the root of that emotional dependence. But what it has to do with upasana? You use the same three factors for If you are a primary level of a seeker, you create all the three factors towards a teacher, towards a mantra, towards any image. That is why we have 330 million gods and goddesses. Or, and in the last, you just use these three factors to be attached to the real self. Instead of, don't tell your honey, but just create. Why? Because now the Jerry sees that real self in David, and David sees the real self in Jerry. Problem is done. We use the negative factors of the mind to evolve, to rise in consciousness. Think of it. We will work on it. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. And from slowly, I will change the practice. I will give you the sense of the practice, uh, so that you can pick up not only and you can evolve faster. So, I body comfortable, move the, move the mind, move the mind under all the joints of the body, experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. After experiencing that steadiness, the mind keeps looking inside, either into the emptiness or space, that we keep on continuing, because that helps us to get a clear understanding to the mind what we are looking for. We are not looking for any object. Any object, create a thought. Emptiness is not a, or a space is not a thought, not an object. Then looking at all the thoughts that enters into the mind, they come due to the projections. The mind has accumulated millions of impressions deeper inside. They trigger by anything and everything in the world. And that triggering, even with eyes closed, unwelcome, uninvited thought enters into your mind. It's not of your mistake. So, what we do with these unwelcome, uninvited thoughts, we are carefree, free from all the cares. I'm reminding you, free from all the cares, like you are a knower. You are not doing anything. You are standing across the road and watching the traffic. Same way, you are watching the mental traffic. Here, check that. You easily move into that state of being carefree. If yes, you're the higher seeker. If no, we need a little more practice. We have to refine it. Not a big deal. And then understand. So clarity is there. Still the thoughts are coming. Even if it is not coming, let me replace it. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You already know, we follow this mantra with word, meaning, knowledge. Meaning, let there be well being for all. Why we are seeking well being for all? Because well being is existence, it is the truth. How come everyone is seeking well being? No one says, let me enter into this stress today the whole day. Even those creatures who do not think. By these contemplation, we're asking the mind to have a vision. What is that vision? Well being. I'm adding now the Upasana word. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let there be peace for we all are seekers of peace and happiness. I've been repeating. Just become aware, whether it's a mosquito or an insect or an elephant or a tiger or we human, peace is a common factor. So those whose mind is full of impurities, they are searching peace by crying, by violence. You see that my duality, by conflict, by divorce, etc., etc. You see that knowledge should be settled in the mind. And may there be peace for all. Peace is a common factor, peace is the existence, and I'm a part of the existence, hence peace. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Let there be completeness in all. So this mind lives with the impurities and in ignorance, claiming I'm not complete. Hence it has to act in the world to amass or whether the wealth or get married or divorce or to remain attached in order to find completeness. This problem lies only with the human being, not with anyone in the world. Mango tree is complete in itself. Mosquito complete in itself. What you're looking, whether I say you are visualizing or you have a vision, or even if I use the word you are imagining, oh, that is the nature of the real self. The way we fall in love, we imagine that person or object is near or inside my heart. You are using that. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be an auspiciousness for all. That is what everyone is seeking. We cannot realize that auspiciousness in the presence of impurities, in the presence of projection, because that blocks prevents the mind to realize, see that. And we will keep doing, look inside the heart in the space, Om Shanti, very gentle in this soft. Another layer, keep on breathing, quick, short, gentle breath through both the ribs, through both the nostrils into the ribs, and the body remains steady. So you are a witness to the three layers, even the fourth layer. When you say Om Shanti, I am Shanti, continue. Keep on breathing, first factor. Keep on dropping Om Shanti in the space, second factor. And you are aware of the steadiness of the body. And then that mind is able to realize what it means by the Om Shanti. Real self is Shanti. Real self where it is within. And stop there, start breathing deep, silent and slow. Follow the nyasa part. So you are aware that you do the deep silent, slow breathing. You are aware of the steadiness of the body. You move the mind with the breath inside. Let us start with the right arm. So as you move the mind inside, as you breathe in, the mind moves inside the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips in the space, dropping on. Shanti. I believe so that this nyasa will help you deepen and then it becomes easy for the upasana part that we are going to add in different ways in our journey. Body is steady, body is a car, mind is the driver, pathway is the space. Who is sitting inside? The owner is the intellect or the Om Shanti. It is going to the Om Shanti. You will discover this body doesn't want to move, as if all the cells consciously pointing inward. It's such a beautiful state. And it is such a natural way to move into that state. Now, inside the left arm, we are refining, if I say the mind, we are raising awareness. The mind doesn't have any other object except moving, absorbed into the space within. Beautiful. And now inside the right leg, when the mind sinks and drops Om Shanti, you are in fact preparing now for Upasana. When the Om is the real self, your mind wants to look for it. And this Upasana takes a little bit of time. Once you get a feel of it, big transformation takes place. Conditional Karma Yoga continues. Shanti. Now inside the left leg, you see you are aware of all the layers, outermost layers, the body and the breath. You are already aware. That's why you are doing the deep silence slowly. But you join the mind with the moving breath and dropping Om Shanti. You have almost all the 4 or 5 layers are together. Because in Upasana, as I explained you, the 3 factors, impulsively, unconsciously brings all of them together. But when we do it consciously, something great happens. Why we need a transformation? That's our goal. Now inside the spine, Shanti. When you see that separation, all the layers are separate in working together. You can easily destroy the projections of the mind. And I'll leave this. I've already sown the seed of that upasana when you visualize the triangle deep inside the heart. But now we are going to do with the clarity. Remember the three words in upasana or in getting rid of that emotional dependence. One is the image. Second is the location. And third is a thought or a word or a mantra. That is how we say, "You are my soulmate, I love you." So casually look inside the heart, in the space, visualize an equilateral triangle pointing upward. Move the mind on a triangle, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So in the beginning, that was our image. That's why I gave that step. Uh, so you're moving the mind. So what about the word or the mantra? Let the mantra be Om Shanti. So moving in a clockwise or anti-clockwise, then you move the mind at the center of a triangle. So let us check our imaginative power. Visualize either the round sun or the moon. The moment you see, move the mind inside, singing Om. Mind seemingly stops. Shanti. So in emotional dependence, what happens? We realize even our parents say, "Oh, don't go there," but we go. Why? We have a presence of that person inside our heart, excluding everything. So that exclusion prevents us to see what is right and good. But here we are very clear. Om Shanti. Here it is a real self. We are using the same tool, the way the mind works, falling in love. We are using the same tools to rise in love. Why? To get rid of the projections. We'll be using different ways and we will see what happens. In the beginning, image is nothing but our triangle, and another image that you see at the center of the triangle, either the sun in the afternoon, just a circle of immense light, or the moonlight, or the moon, full moon. To understand and check the imaginative faculty, and the moment you use the thought, oh, as if the real self is like that. Om is a word, represents the real self. Shanti. When the mind realizes Shanti 100%, it is totally absorbed. Now we say all buck stop there, stops here. So same thing happens to the mind. Be into that state, almost in a state of doing nothing, falling in love. The mind does everything. Because of emotional dependence, the time will come in meditation, the mind will do everything. That is why it is known as a non practice. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences now. How are you, David and Jerry?
Very, very good. Thank you. Very deep. The Nyasa ended up in the heart center with a sun. And when it got into the heart center, there was this warmth throughout my whole body, but not just a temperature warmth, just a embracing warmth that I noticed. So it was very soft, very deep, very quick, very warm.
Very warm, yeah. Yeah, warmth is sun is a soft and gentle. That's a very good experience. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. Namaste. It went by very fast. It was I don't know, super peaceful and difficult to put words to it. I feel like the vote is always the true self.
Yeah.
And that what that love is, that falling in love is falling into the same thing that we all are. So when we fall into that love, then we're perfectly where we should be.
Beautiful. We'll be using certain other images. We'll be using even our honey as a tool to transcend the projections. And that is the journey of the Upasana. So that's why you see that we have a lot of gods and goddesses. So I left everything and I said, no, my master is everything. He is inside the heart. So gradually, all the emotional dependence gone. How are you, Brandy?
Morning. I'm good, thank you. My meditation was deep and relaxing, except for my cat just tried to disturb me. But I didn't want it to end today.
We'll be using cat also, no worries. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. Wonderful. How are you, Anastasia?
Thank you very much for this lesson and practice. It was very deep and absorbed.
Beautiful. Wonderful. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very little bit. Sometimes it happens, sir. Sir, I tend to go in sleep. Means little sleepiness is there, and after that I come back immediately. But sometimes there are dips of means. I think sometimes it happens to me that I go in sleep and then I come out of it. Then I go. But it happens when it's like a wave, no, means up down. Sometimes it is like there. Sometimes I'm totally aware, but sometimes I feel little bit sleepy and I come out and then I'm sleepy. I don't know.
Yeah, it happens because of our past impressions, and that may happen also because we have to check our outer and the inner life. Are we translating these principles into our daily life, the personal level, professional level, social level? I remember something what happened in New Jersey. I'll recall later. Let me have Ashok.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir.
All good, peace and
All
calm,
good.
progressive.
Very good.
That's good.
Very good. How are you, Rakesh?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I reached so deep uh, during the meditation that the nyasa stopped, the deep breathing stopped, the Om Shanti stopped, everything stopped. I was doing nothing, but I was just enjoying the depth where I
Yeah.
was.
Yes, very good. Enjoying the depth of my being. That is a very good understanding and experience. How are you, Vaibhav?
Sir, I'm good. Was deep, quiet.
Very good. So I used to be invited by the Quakers. Not Indians know about it, but the Quakers is another sect of Christianity in New Jersey. And we used to discuss and talk and meditate late in the evening. And then there is another sect, Methodist, something. So I was invited to give a talk of Methodist, and I saw the Jesus. What do you think? I said, my master is there. I saw the image of the Jesus, and so, who is your master? I said, he lived in the Himalayas. Physically, he's no more, but now my master appears like him, like Jesus. He has changed his name, entering into Methodist Church. So you see that you change your entire projection. You don't allow the mind to project anything except one thing. So whether you take the any image, huh? Any image, and that goes so deep. You wake up in the morning, all your projections are gone. You don't see with the coloring of the mind. You see the object and the people as they are. And that takes a little bit of time. We will do that. That is all for today. Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you,
Namaste,
sir.
everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.